Okay, so as of Thursday, November 2nd, Lords of the Fallen have just received their biggest update, version 1.1.1.282, with over 100 enhancements. I don't know how much of that is going to be good, though. We're just going to skip over to some of the good stuff, and then I'll go over everything else. PvP boss weapons are going up from +5 to +10. We've modified their upgrade curves. While they remain potent, they are no longer overpowered at PvP. So that seems to be the biggest issue there. We've observed that some players have heavily relied on specific boss weapons and spells for PvP, yeah, because they're so good, which has led to a less diverse gameplay experience, which is just called the meta. So I don't know why they had to nerf that. To address this, we've made quite a few adjustments on these items. We read the first one. The mana cost for Pieda's Blessed Reflections and Infernal Hound Invocation spells have been significantly increased. But this means it also costs more for PvE though? Or is it just during I'm pretty sure it's everywhere. Exploding bolts and shattering bolts now require more ammunition to use. I believe this is the one in like the broken build that will like one-shot people, right? The usage cost of Corrupted Banner has increased and its damage output has been nerfed. Cool. To facilitate this transition, we've temporarily reduced the cost of Duralium chunks at the shrine. Good, because it's pretty hard to get. Making it easier for players to get their boss weapons from 5 to 10, but also make it easier to try out different weapons and create more varied builds. Our goal is to foster a more varied and enjoyable gaming experience for all while avoid overpowered weapons. Avoiding overpowered weapons, we appreciate your understanding and ongoing support. Other tweaks, additionally, we've made these additional adjustments for PvP. The host is now unable to return to the main menu while the Crimson Ritual is in progress. We've made adjustments to invasion volume boxes, increasing their size slightly to help reduce disconnections. Okay, I don't really care about this stuff right now. Revenge, bosses, here we go. Taught a new trick to the Sanctified Huntress, allowing her to use her dash teleport when cornered against a wall by the player or an NPC helper. Griefbound has been adjusted to be more aggressive in our boss fight as well as her minions. When killing the Light Reaper at a specific frame of one of his specific attacks, it could interrupt his death animation, leaving him unanimated for a few frames. We've increased the challenge for our boss at the bottom of a very dark place. The big guy who eats bodies, the variation, yeah. Born from Love now has a higher pacing and a bit more punch. So he hits harder and he attacks more often. I didn't know there was a problem with him at all. We've intensified the Sundered One's aggression and behavior, making him angrier and more formidable despite his sadness. Who is this guy again? The Sundered One? Hold on. Let's open up the Schmoogle. Lords of the Fallen, Sundered One. Is that the guy on the horse? Oh, that's the one of the last bosses. Oh, okay, this guy right there. Okay. I've only played him once because I'm only on New Game Plus. I haven't been playing much Lords of the Fallen recently. We've noticed that some players have been struggling with Kinringer Guardian Fallen and his hounds. That's the Frost dude, right? Particularly when it comes to the Frostbite projectile attacks. It's just because there's so many enemies you're fighting on screen. I remember when I was a New Game player, fresh to the game, and that shit was a nightmare for a new player. But I'm sure now if I started a new game, it wouldn't be as difficult. To help players anticipate its attack more effectively, we've enhanced its visual feedback. That's fine, as long as you don't decrease anything about the boss. They're just adding more visual feedback, which is great. It doesn't really change anything with the boss fight. Abiding defenders now use their abilities more efficiently and frequently, making the fight significantly more challenging. Bro, in New Game Plus, this is the worst boss in the game. Ah, shit. Alright, click out. God damn it. Okay, where is it? Bro, where is it? Bosses. In New Game Plus, the defenders, they're so broken. They need to they don't need to increase the spell frequency. I don't know. Does this have to do with the base game? Because in New Game Plus, they do it so often. It's literally all they do. They just keep attacking with their spells over and over and over again. And they hit you off screen too, so you're waiting to see most of them coming. So I don't know why they changed that. AI does suck when you're summon helpers. The Scarlet Shadow has received a few improvements. The Scarlet Shadow could sometimes. Oh, the Scarlet Shadow AI, the Red Reaper, doesn't take fall damage anymore. So no more cheap farms. The Scholar Shadow has learned a few tricks to react to some trolling. Now you can't hide from him using an elevator. Okay, so again, they're just killing farming methods. He's more resourceful. You've been warned. Scholar Shadow is now a few more nav links to be able to jump up and down platforms. Running away is now even more challenging. He's not even that hard. It's just that there's so many enemies by the time he gets summoned. So you have to worry about random enemies like intervening in your fight. That's the only problem with this guy. Other AIs have been polished as well. Additional refinement to enemy spawns. Okay, but like nothing like help with the NPCs because they suck. Every time you summon an NPC in the game, they just walk into attacks and they're just really bad. They don't act like normal players. Additional refinement to enemy spawns and upper calories, scene, depths, cistern, fish. Additional refinement of enemy spawns. I don't know what that means. Does that mean more or less? What does it mean? An additional nav link has been added on Skyrest Bridge to help a specific AI navigate. Numberal Sparrow at Gorge had a spawn position. A ground stomp animation from Deep Sparrow has been tweaked. Okay, this I don't give a shit about. I don't think you guys give a shit about either, but you could read that on the Steam page. Balancing. Okay, this might be an important part right here. The stone healing speed is increased. Okay. It now takes 12 seconds instead of 20 for the full Bryostone. Okay, but all of them have been buffed though, right? The Curse of a Deer has seen its duration increase from 10 seconds to 30. And its damage from 2 to 5. Curse of a Deer, is that the spell that increases damage? Hold on, we're going to have to open up Schmoogle again. It's been a while since I played. I've been playing other games right now. Curse of a Deer. I'm pretty sure that's the Pyro skill. I forget, what is it called? Inferno in this game? Curse of a Deer skill. Allows you to summon a endurance of a deer, increasing your stamina regeneration. Is that the one? Infernal spells? Yeah, they're called Infernal. A deer's authority, endurance, rage. What? Curse of a Deer has seen its duration increased from 10 seconds to 30. That's not a spell. What is that? What the heck is that? What is Curse of a Deer? Curse of a Deer, Lords of the Fallen. A Deer's Revenge. Okay, I don't know what this is. I assume it's an infernal spell, but nothing popped up on the wiki. So what the heck is this? The Barrage of Echoes cost has been increased by around 25% and damage decreased. Barrage of Echoes, is that an Umbral skill? Lords of the Fallen, Barrage of Echoes. Barrage of Echoes is one of the Umbral spells. Yeah, so I guess it was overpowered. I didn't use Umbral, so I was unaware of that. Fixed Holy Slash, being easily destroyed upon physical collision. Fixed Rain of Thorns, not causing the smite status effect. Also increased damage by 50%. Cool. It's a great tool to fight abundant regular mobs, especially in co-op. Fixed tick damage, invulnerability on the following spells: Slicing Sword, Sacred Ground, Dark Mass, Poison Mist, yada yada yada. Healing Aura has been nerfed with a decrease of its base healing from 8 to 6.5, which is approximately 20% nerf. Increase the visceral damage multiplier on Umbral Assassin Swords by 50%. Increase the damage to make them more effective choice for parry players. Cool, cool. Lower the bonus damage from a Pendant of Burden from 0.1 to 0.07. Stacking status effects are highly efficient and fairly powerful on their own. As such, we've slightly nerfed this pendant to balance in other combat options. Pendant of Burden. Which one is that? Pendant of Burden. I just hope I didn't have to use this one. I don't think I did. Pendant of Burden. It deals additional damage for every status effect. Oh, okay, cool. I never used that one yet. But apparently this one is busted. Not anymore. Increased, let's see. Mana Stones prices have been reduced in the vendors. Small from 300 to 200. Medium from 600 to 400. And large from... I never even bought these. Like, you get so many in the game. I've never even purchased a single one ever. You get enough just farming. Nerfed enhanced throwables by 30%. A couple patches ago, they nerfed the poise damage of enhanced throwables. Now they're increasing damage. Pretty much all of them are overperforming, especially enhanced hammer. Oh, nerfed enhanced throwables. Bro. Who cares? Like, make them viable for throwing builds. Who cares if they're good? You've already reduced their poise damage. Pretty much all of them are overpowering, especially enhanced hammer. I never used throwables, but like it sucks for throwable mains. Radiant orb decreased healing and started deceleration earlier to make it easier to aim. Sovereign Protector's ring poise has been increased. Cool. Boosts its effect to make it more attractive to use. Sovereign Protector's ring, is that strictly just poise? I think it is. Sovereign Protector's ring. After increases poise, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's well. If you want to make it more useful, just give it more effects. Rings that only do one thing, like there's no reason why you could give it like also, you know, increase stamina or health by like just a tiny bit, just something else to make it more appealing. You don't have to just increase poise. Just give it an additional effect of some sort. Swap Dunmire's Cane to having 3 times meta rune slots to 3 times square to treat it like other staves and give it a potential to be more powerful. Cool. The Umbral Eye of the Pale Butcher secondary effect has been changed. Oh, really? Recover Soul Flay while in Umbral to 25% damage to enemy soul. So it can be combined with Umbral Eye of Olaron for decimating effects. Yeah, they need to buff the 25% damage because I've tried that and it's very insignificant. They should maybe do a 30 or 35 and see what that does, because 25 I honestly didn't even notice that much of a difference when I tried it out. 3 faction focused pendants, Faceless Carving, Imperial Pendant, and Rogar's Delight are keeping their faction god empowerments, but have seen their protection effects buffed against their respective rival factions. We believe this adapts better to how players are using the strengths and weaknesses of each magic. Are keeping their faction god empowerments, but have seen their protection effects buffed against their rival factions. Okay, so depending on the rival factions, it's stronger. Removed poise damage from AoE spells such as Graveyard Fog, Petrification, and Concentrate to prevent weird looped flinch animations. Okay, swap the duplicate spell Putrefaction and Revelation Depths with 3 times poison salts, as the spell can also be retrieved in the fen. Note that when picking an already earned item, you get a reward, but we are just granting now a better one. Okay, level design. We polished an Umbral puzzle at the Abbey of Hallowed Sisters to prevent players from interacting with Soulflay from a wrong spot. Added Umbral flowers, signaling an Umbral decoration layer for a new only Axiom wall at Skyrest. I'll have to check that out. A lava killing area has been adjusted in Brahma's Castle, as we saw some players getting killed without noticing they were stepping in lava. That happened to me once. Now feet will burn for a longer time before getting killed in that corner. Collisions. Do we care about collisions? I'll check that later. Visuals. Go over that later. Cinematics. Don't give a shit. VFX. UI. Gamepad could sometimes get out of focus in the UI. We added a failsafe. Additional failsafe. Sometimes the Epic Online System pop-up could appear in loading screens. Lock on. It was sometimes targeting an AI capsule instead of its center. Fixed infinite item stock and vendors that could not be purchased infinitely. What? I didn't know that was a thing. Fixed an issue with the language. Okay, we don't care. Audio, don't care. All right, so those are the looks like the biggest changes. Let's see here. Bosses we went over. Revenge. Other tweaks. For PvP, no. PvP, the boss weapons we went over. Co-op, okay. In certain edge cases, the client could enter a ignore move input, stay in the UI, and interfere with the vestige at the same time as the host. It was reported that sometimes when creating a co-op session, it could happen that you cannot create a second match after disconnecting from one of the 2 parties. Okay, added additional failsafe. Fix an issue where the client would sometimes stop receiving sounds from the host when entering spectator mode. From under certain circumstances, client's gesture UI becomes partially unresponsive and remains on the screen after transitioning when the host rests at a vestige. Okay, I don't give a shit about any of these. Performance. Fixed an FPS degradation issue that occurred when opening and closing the in-game menu for more than 50 times in one session. I didn't know that was a thing. Followed by stamina consumption action just afterward. Conducted collision optimizations throughout the lower calories to achieve an overall performance and frame rate. Implemented a shadow optimization pass in Spurned Progeny's arena. Optimized several smoke VFX use globally. Enhanced target system performance when players or enemies target abilities towards each other. Conducted a cast shadow optimization pass and beautification in upper calories, resulting in some additional frames while navigating the area without sacrificing visual quality. Optimized Skyres Bridge by rearranging assets that cast shadows. Okay, I don't care about some of that stuff. Stability. Okay, this is what we want. A very rare crash reported in Sentry where faction war AIs casting certain abilities could crash in some GPUs under specific circumstances. A rare crash that could happen when Nanite was sending certain data to GPUs. A very rare crash that could happen when AIs and players were targeting each other with other specific abilities, not reported in Sentry yet. A rare crash that could happen when activating a revenge, and that selected AI was a specific one, already dead, not reported in Sentry. A very rare crash that could happen when the player is aiming in ranged mode. Okay. Save game. Additional failsafe has been added to save games to try to avoid extremely annoying issue that players would experience with corrupted saves. Thanks for sending those in. Okay, whatever. You're welcome. HDR. Instead of using engine standards, we established our own custom range for HDR max luminance to enhance the visual quality of the HDR on all platforms. Okay. Let's see. Let's go over some stuff I haven't went over yet. The AI, I didn't finish reading that one. Adjusted a leashing for enemies at Fitzroy's Gorge. Leashing, so how far they chase you. Adjusted and added leashing volumes in Red Copse Village. Adjusted leashing for enemies at the entrance of Sunless Scheme. Tweaked leashing volumes for some enemies in Pilgrim's Perch. Adjusted and added additional leashing volumes to AI. Tweaking leashing volumes for all enemy groups. Path of Devotion. Additional polish and adjustments for leashing volumes of AIs and Forsaken Fen. Fix the nav mesh issue when transferring from Axion to Umbral several times. That could block a specific Umbral zombie in a specific spot. Okay, yeah. You get the picture. Level design. Collisions. Okay, let's go over some collisions. Add an additional failsafe to Umbral Wall. To an Umbral Wall, an encounter happening at the abandoned outpost at Fitzroy's Gorge. Being pushed back could block players inside the wall. Adjusted the Cleric Cape to work in multiplayer. Adjustments to collisions in the Abbey of Hallowed Sisters to smooth in player navigation. Fix a collision bug at the ceiling of Owl House at Lower Calories that could lead to unintended beam navigation. Fix a collision near the vestige of Numb Witch in Calrith. Fix a hole at Brahma's Castle that could lead to a fall if jumping over the Barbican. Fix the wall in Brahma's Castle that let audio pass through. The walls have ears. Don Juan. Well, not anymore. I think I remember that one. If a player rolled against two specific beams in Pilgrim's Perch, it could sometimes get trapped in a collision with Byron staring at the scene. Remove the collision from a small rock that could prevent players from falling at Sunless Scheme, but no exit was available. We buffed a pot in the Abbey of Hallowed Sisters so that the Ray of the Abyss now does not go through it, so players can hide behind the almighty pot. Okay, so that wasn't intended. Okay, so you can hide behind a wall, pot now. Cool. A new game plus. This boss, the Abyss boss, was pretty annoying in New Game Plus. Collision adjustments in the whole lower Calrith for smoother navigation. A bridge in the lower city could block projectiles on the edges, although visually was weird since it only strings on the side. Fix some collisions in Fitzroy's Gorge Cave to avoid the player getting stuck under certain circumstances. Adjusted an umbral mesh in Pilgrim's Perch that had collisions for projectiles in Axiom. Added blocking volumes in Forsaken Fen to prevent players from performing an out of bounds and skipping mini bosses or getting stuck. Alright, so just more fixes. And that's the gist of it. The video is getting too long. We're already at 20 minutes, so I'll stop it right there. So I don't know. Most likely when, most likely when these updates hit, they hit PC first, and this is a huge update. So I would assume that it's not coming to consoles just yet. Consoles usually gets these things in a couple days to like a week later. Let's check the intro here and see if they've mentioned it. Thanks to all those who took part in the Season of Bleak. Your journey through this dark and mysterious event has been nothing short of incredible. See, the questline and the secret mask hidden within it have captivated many of you, so due to popular demand, we've decided to keep these active, even though Halloween is over, so that you can earn these unique loot with your characters. However, please be aware that we'll be bidding farewell to the decorations. In this patch, we've enhanced the visual quality of HDR, added extra save game safeguards, done good performance improvements, and addressed rare crashes. We've also improved cooperative play, made PvP more diverse, buffed some bosses, refined AI behavior, balanced spells and items, and just name a few. We can dive into details below. Thanks everybody for this good support, your Sentry reports, and as leaving so many positive reviews. Okay, so nothing mentioned of consoles. So console users, just be aware that this might hit consoles later, and it's not live just yet. But alright, that's the video.